Imagine trading the city lights of London for the desolate landscapes of a remote Scottish island. That's exactly what our protagonist Nancy did. A city girl at heart, she left the hustle and bustle of London behind to start a new life with her husband Calder, on a remote Scottish island. As she stood on the shore, watching the waves crash against the rugged coastline, a sense of unease began to wash over her. The island, isolated and desolate, was a stark contrast to the life she had known, but it wasn't just the isolation that troubled her. She couldn't shake off the feeling that Calder, her loving husband, was hiding something from her. The island, it seemed, was shrouded in more than just physical isolation. There was a sense of mystery, a hint of secrets buried deep beneath the surface. And so, we must ask ourselves, what secrets was Calder hiding in this isolated corner of the world? The first hint of trouble came on a stormy night, a night that would change everything. The wind howled like a banshee, and the rain beat down relentlessly, transforming the serene island into a wild, untamed beast. It was on this tempestuous night that Nancy saw him. Calder, her rock, her anchor, battling his way through the storm. His clothes were drenched, sticking to his skin, his eyes wild with a fear that sent a chill down her spine. He was a man possessed, a man running from something, or someone. Nancy's heart pounded in her chest as she flung open the door, the biting wind whipping her hair into a frenzy. She reached out, her fingers brushing against his icy skin. Confused and terrified, she helped him inside, her mind a whirlwind of questions. Who was this man she had married? And what was he running from? The storm outside mirrored the turmoil within her. Confused and terrified, Nancy helped him inside, her mind racing with questions. Just as Nancy started to uncover the truth, tragedy struck. On a cold, brutal night, Calder was found lifeless, floating in the icy bay. The chill of death had claimed him, or so it seemed. But then, a miracle. The doctors, with their relentless determination, brought him back from the edge. Calder returned from his brush with death, but he was different. His eyes held a different glint, his mannerisms were altered, and his once warm smile now seemed cold and distant. Nancy, desperate for answers, found herself facing an even greater mystery. As Calder's transformation became more evident, a chilling pattern emerged. One by one, bodies began to wash up on the shore of their secluded island, the waves delivering a grim message with each arrival. Nancy was trapped in a web of fear and confusion. Her sanctuary turned into a nightmarish landscape. As she struggled to understand what had occurred, bodies started washing up on their shores. In the dramatic climax, a darkest secret that had followed Calder from his past was finally revealed. This was a secret that shook Nancy to her core. It was a tale of betrayal and deceit, a past that Calder had carefully concealed, a dark shadow that refused to stay buried. The man Nancy had fallen in love with, the man she left her bustling life in London for, was not the man she thought he was. Each revelation, each secret that surfaced, hit Nancy like a wave. It was as if she was standing on the edge of the stormy sea, the waves lashing at her, trying to pull her in. But Nancy was not one to be swept away. Even as the truth stung like salt in a wound, she refused to crumble. She stood firm, ready to dive into the depths of Calder's past. Each revelation hit Nancy like a wave lashing at her from the stormy sea around her. Nancy then took the courage to confront those shadows head-on. Having weathered the shock of Calder's transformation and the chilling discoveries that followed, our city girl was no longer just that. The isolated island had forged her into a woman of steel, ready to dive into the depths of Calder's murky past. She was determined to unearth the truth, no matter how harrowing it might be. Amid the gales and the gray skies, Nancy stood unyielding, her gaze fixed on the turbulent sea that mirrored the tumult within her. Her heart pounded in her chest, echoing the relentless crash of the waves against the shore. But fear did not deter her. Instead, it fueled her quest for answers. For every secret unearthed, she found herself questioning the man she thought she knew, the life they had built together. Each revelation was a blow, yet she refused to be swept away. As the video draws to a close, ask yourself, what would you do if your loved one's dark past came knocking?